What is up, my ninjas? This is your boy Majin AN doing the NFC edition of the FANTage update. We just finished the AFC, now we're in the NFC. And to start off the NFC, we're going to do the NFC North. One of the strongest divisions there and a very fun division. Let's get started. We'll start with the team leading the fray. The Green Bay, the instant classics, the legendary Green Bay Packers. A decent amount of fantasy value there. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Do you need any explanation? The sheriff must start, even if he's had bad games. He's always had more good games than bad games, and he's one of the best in the league. MVP caliber. Was last season's MVP. He is a must start. No argument said. Now for the wide receiver room. I'm just going to make this really easy. Devontae Adams must start. Enough said. One of the must starts. Not a must start. One of the must starts for a receiver. He's honestly one of the best receivers in the league, so I don't even have to explain much. As for the other receivers, that's the issue. Their fantasy value fluctuates. Like Adam Lazard, Montez Valdez-Scantling. I think I said his name right. I'm tired. Yeah, their values fluctuate. However, Randall Cobbs just came back to the Packers under Aaron Rodgers' request, so he's been doing decent flex-wise. The other receivers are flex-worthy too, but Randall Cobbs is flex-wise, borderline startable, depending on the game. So yeah, and then there's Robert Tanyan, who had a strong fantasy season last season, but now he's touchdown dependent. So I would say you can have him as a backup for one of your teams if you're super desperate, but he's not really super startable right now. So Robert Tunyon, just be careful with your usage of him. As for the running backs, whole bunch of fantasy value with them. Aaron Jones, one of the best running backs in the league and one of the most fantasy efficient running backs. Since it's a PPR league, receiving running backs are great. He not only runs the ball very well, but receives very well. He is like must start. He's borderline must start. He's in must start territory, but he's borderline must start. AJ Dillon gets some good flex value from being in the same running back division as Aaron Jones and being Aaron Jones understudy and just he's good. Very worthy flex wise. As for the defense, startable. Very startable. The Packers defense has been good lately, so they're also matchup dependent, but they've been very good. So yeah, start the Packers defense. Now it's time for the Bears. The Bears. The Bears. The Bears is a confusing case, fantasy wise. So, but I'll go there. Andy Dalton, startable or usable, but not like super playable. So yeah, he's like a backup that you have back up. And then there's Justin Fields, whose potential hasn't been reached yet in the field and fantasy wise. So he's not going to be usable in fantasy right now because he's still getting there. You can stash him. He's stashable. That's all I can say. Very stashable. So yeah. As for the receivers, Allen Robinson is one of the only few useful receivers for the Bears. Like he's one of the only few. Then Darnell Mooney happened, and their fantasy values aren't super bad, but they keep fluctuating. If you get what I'm saying. So yeah, just it's not super much right now. It's just okay. As for the running backs, very good fantasy value, especially David Montgomery. David Montgomery was entering must-start territory just recently. It's until his injury just a week or two ago. David Montgomery was must-start and very useful in fantasy. So if you had David Montgomery in your team, yeah, wait for him. But his backups are capable too. Damian Williams, the former Super Bowl MVP when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. As his backup, he's going to have also he's going to be startable. So yeah, that's one thing I can say. Oh, I blanked out for a second. But yeah, Damian Williams, good pick for if you're desperate for a running back and you need a backup, and when your running back is injured, Damian Williams, good pick. And if you have David Montgomery, very good pick as well to have Damian Williams as well. Khalil Herbert is also another good, reliable pick. He started showing strides in the first game without David Montgomery, so he's a stashable too. Keep on the lookout for him, or you might use him too. Oh, I almost forgot about the tight end situation in Chicago. No real fantasy relevance because the passing game hasn't been going well with Justin Fields. So Cole Kmet does not have any relevance, and Jimmy Graham too. He hasn't really had relevance in a while, so you can't really expect much of those tight ends. As for the defense, must start now. Their defense has been killing it. The pass rush, the ferocity of the defense. Sure, their DBs are weak, but their defense has been strong lately, so it's been workable. It's been very doable. They're startable. They're almost must start, but they are very startable. So yeah, that's Chicago for you. Now it's time for the Vikings. Vikings have a whole lot of fantasy value offensively, so it's let's get started. Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is very startable. In fact, he ends up on borderline must start, which pisses me off because I used to call him Captain Average and just, yeah. He's proved that he's slightly more than average. The boy can sling. He scores a touchdown almost every game. Maybe two. He's a good QB and a great starter. A great must-start territory QB. As for the receivers, very good receiving value. Adam Thielen is has very good receiving value, but he's also TD dependent now, really. But yeah, Aaron, like I said, no wait, I already talked about. After Adam Thielen, there's Justin Jefferson, a rookie sensation and their best receiver right now. He is definitely in the must-start category. Adam Thielen is borderline must-start and is in must-start territory, but Justin Jefferson is must-start. So, yeah. Other receivers like KJ Bourne are also really good to look at flex-wise because they can have an occasional super good game. Let's see. Tight ends, Tyler Conklin, just backup usage. Just have him stashed in case you are really low on tight ends. Chris Herndon, no, absolutely no fancy value. Little to very no fancy value. Running back wise, Dalvin Cook, one of the best running backs in the league, both receiving and rushing. must start every time. Even with his getting banged up with injuries and having one bad game, he's must start. Dalvin Cook, enough questions answered. Alex Madison has really good responses to like being the backup. He's a very good backup running back, and he gets good flex, decently small flex value. But Dalvin Cook is injured. He's almost must start as Dalvin Cook. Like, he's one of the few backups that has must start capability when when the person he's understudying is injured. So yeah, definitely get Alex Madison as a backup in case you do have Dalvin Cook on your team and he gets injured. Wise advice. As for the Vikings defense, it has slightly improved, but it's still weak. So it's matchup dependent. It's playable, but it's matchup dependent. So yeah. And finally, the easiest one, the Detroit Lions. The winless Detroit Lions. Jesus Christ. Jared Goff has good backup starter caliber fantasy usage. He's startable, but not startable at the same time. He's very inconsistent, so it like fluctuates his fantasy usage. As for the receiving core, stay the hell away from it. No value in the receiving core whatsoever. Except with the tight end TJ Hawkinson. Very good tight end. He's one of the must start tight ends in this league. He's a must start. So their lead receiver and a must start. And then their best receiver, who's still in IR, is Terrell Williams. And he's the most known established receiver, so that says something. And it's Terrell Williams might get good fantasy usage. Who knows? And yeah. Quintez Cephas is their best receiver at that time, while Terrell Williams is injured. Ended up getting his collarbone broken. Their rookie Amon-Ra St. Brown is still like little raw on the edge. So it's hard to really have any value or faith in the Detroit receiving core. Their running back core is better though. They have DeAndre Swift, who was one of the unicorns last season. His receiving game and rushing game is pretty good. He is a must start. Yeah, Detroit has 2 must starts. Funny, isn't it? Jamal Williams is startable, but if anything happens to DeAndre Swift, he is also like very startable. Not must start, but you can start him. He's capable enough due to his time in Green Bay. He's got this. So now we go to the defense. Don't trust the Lions defense. Not matchup dependent. Very horrible. So yeah. Now that is it for the NFC North. We will probably go to the NFC South in the next video. And thanks for bearing with me while being sleepy. I'm trying to make sure I get everything done. Thank you so much.